The topic of our paper is neologisms with the prefix anti in the Ukrainian online media in the Covid-19 pandemic period, and the authors are Khrystyna, Datsyshyn, Zoriana, Haladzhun, Nataliia, Kunanets, Oksana, Hotsur, and Nataliia, Veretennikova. So, first of all, the aim of our study is to highlight the innovative vocabulary with the format anti in the language of Ukrainian online publications of the period of Covid-19 pandemic, as well as to study its semantics and pragmatics of use. The tasks of the study are to study the basic meanings given to neologism by the prefix anti, to determine the derivation potential and the value of the prefix anti in neologism of this period. Also to investigate the lexical compatibility of words with this prefix in the language of online media of the COVID-19 period, and to determine the combinatorial features of the analyzed lexical units within phrases or sentences and identify their expressiveness. And the last task is to trace the possibility of machine semantic analysis of content with the prefix anti during this period. The object of the research is text of online publication of the COVID-19 pandemic period containing this prefix, and the subject is innovative vocabulary with this prefix, its semantics and connotative components of meaning, lexical compatibility, pragmatics of use, expressiveness, and tonality. During the research, the number of methods were used. The first one is descriptive method, and this method made it possible to provide an exact and complete description of innovative words with this format anti, and to systematize and inventory the factual material. The techniques of external interpretation were used to establish a connection with extralinguistic phenomena, among which the key ones were sociological methods, in particular the reception of semantic groups of words related to a common topic in a specific historical period of the COVID-19 pandemic. Next one is comparative method. It revealed common, identical, and different features in neologism with the prefix anti and the base word. The use of the structural method is based on the understanding of language as a holistic structure in which all the elements are interconnected within a system of linguistic relations. And distributive analysis allowed to distinguish the meanings of analyzed neologism as polysemous lexemes depending on their distribution and surrounding. The analysis of neologisms as a result of prefix derivation was also carried out using another method of structural analysis, and this method is immediate constituent analysis, which allowed to deepen the understanding of the meaning of the format anti. Such a method of component analysis allowed to determine the semantics of analyzed innovations, and the method of functional analysis determines the functions of such words in the language of online publication. Furthermore, methods and techniques of machine analysis have revealed the ability of innovative lexemes with the prefix anti to influence the tonality of the whole text or its individual fragments. The induction method was used to summarize the results of the study. Productivity of such neologism is due to some factors. The first group of factors are lingual ones. They are a general tendency to save language resources, expressive possibilities of words with the prefix anti, and tendencies to update the lexical structure of language due to foreign borrowings and to complicate language structure and verbal differentiation. Other factors are extralingual, and these factors involve the emergence of new realities that require nomination and the presence of a disease prevention system and the polar views on disease prevention measures. In neologisms of the COVID-19 period, the prefix anti realizes the following meanings. They can be positive, negative, or both positive and negative. Positive meaning, it should prevent something that is nominated by the creative base, as in the adjectives, for example, anti-coronavirus or anti-covid, and given the negative connotations of the name of the disease, the prefix anti in these adjectives has no negative sense, and it acquires positive meaning. Next one, it has the meaning of hostile to what is called by the creative base, as in the adjectives anti-quarantine or anti-mask, and noun like anti-mask, and the words quarantine and mask are perceived by some speakers positively as a means of disease prevention, but by the other speakers negatively as one of the means of restriction. So the meanings of the prefix anti in this case can be both positive or negative. And the last one, it is the antipode to what is called by creative word, as for example in the noun anti-record, and as the format anti is attached to words with a positive meaning, new words acquire the opposite negative meaning and have negative connotations. The prefix anti is used to create neologism adjectives and nouns. In adjectives, it realizes a meaning which must oppose, prevent what is called by a creative word, as in the neologism anticoronavirus, hostile to what is called by a creative word, as in the neologism, for example, anti-quarantine, and opposite to what is called by a creative word, as in the neologism anti-mask. In nouns, it realizes a meaning opposite to what is called by a creative word, and it can be anti-record. The using of neologism with prefix anti in some combinations is illogical, and for example, you can see the headline of the article: new anti-coronavirus record in Kyiv, the number of new cases has doubled in a day. The meaning of the prefix and creative word determines the perception that the record was intended to combat the coronavirus or show the sign of opposite to the coronavirus or hostile to it. The sentence refers to a significant number of identified cases of the disease, so it was appropriate to use an adjective without the prefix anti, but the expressiveness of the text would remain unmotivated. Next example is the sentence: in Vinnytsia region, the police are stepping up anti-quarantine measures, preparing for the red zone. And headline of the article also contains logical error. The report should be understood as information about police measures against quarantine, for example, a protest against state measures to prevent COVID-19, which is a priori impossible given the functions of the police as a state structure. Connotations of neologism depend on lexical combinations. For example, lexical compatibility of adjectives anti-coronavirus, anti-COVID includes nouns of the following lexical and semantic groups: realities, the purpose of which is to combat coronavirus. These words refer to medicine, economy, social sphere, directions and types of activity of the state for disease prevention, documents, realities that, in the opinion of the author, cannot prevent the disease, realities related to behavior and communication in a society, household items, types of transport, types and genres of art, people or groups of people, and mass public events. Connotations of neologism adjective are determined by meaning of denoted noun. Positive connotations of noun determine positive connotations of such neologism, and negative uh, determines negative connotation. For example, in combination with noun quarantine, adjective anti-COVID will have positive color for those who positively perceive these measures, and negative for other people, and in combination with noun dense, it will be positive. The combination with the word restriction gives a negative color to the neologism, which is reinforced by the verbs such as to cancel, remove, and the adjective severe, reflecting the negative attitude of society to the following preventive measures. The connotations of Nouns neologism with the prefix anti are determined by the meaning of this prefix and the meaning of the creative word and the meaning of other words used in the sentence. For example, the connotations of the word anti-mask enhances the lexical compatibility with adjective, as it is the name of the signs of antisocial states of a person, like drunk anti-mask, or verbs, names of actions that indicate antisocial, aggressive, even criminal behavior. For example, to boot a journalist, to shoot in the head, or to try to escape from the controllers. And the lexical compatibility of this word testifies to its inherent negative connotations, shows a bright negative tone, and this neologism is a pejorative nomination, using the prefix anti to create nouns that are names of people, as in the neologism anti-mask, is a reflection of social polarization. The study of text with the prefix anti, firstly in a manual mode, followed by verification with the software Open Text Magellan system, allowed to establish and then confirm the tonality of a number of texts containing words with the prefix anti. The vast majority of tests are negative, and it should be noted that the use of software based on artificial intelligence technologies eliminates the need for manual word processing, expanding the capabilities of text analytics, combining a number of features provided by modern tools. Also, OpenText Magellan is a good software that uses artificial intelligence technologies such as machine learning algorithms, convection, and visualization of user research results provided free of charge, and it allows to increase their operational efficiency. Other research results may also be useful in the journalist's practice. As a result of the complex analysis, it is revealed that in the language of online media, words with the prefix anti and without it are in antonymous or synonymous relations. For example, mask and anti-mask have opposite meaning in the phrase, like Ukrainians were divided into groups, mask and anti-masks. Words COVID and anti-COVID have the same meaning in the phrases like they want to take money to support the population from the COVID fund, or have to spend the anti-COVID fund. Depending on the communicative purpose, they also may use neologism with the prefix anti to give the publication a stronger tone. Now, the use of neologism with the prefix can be effective not only to create a certain tone of the expression or the whole text, but also to achieve greater dynamism of the expression due to the reduction of the text. Journalists use neologism with this prefix in the headlines of online media publications, while in the text these new words are replaced by the broader descriptive phrases. For example, one of publication is headlined like anticoronavirus fund is fully distributed, and the same information in the text is to date the fund of for combating Covid-19 is fully distributed. It confirms the ability of such words to accumulate expression, evaluate, and serve as a means of language economy. Now, to conclude, we would like to say that neologisms with the prefix anti mostly have a pronounced tonality, which is due to the textual environment and can affect the overall tonality of the text. Machine analysis revealed that in some cases the connotations of the neologism with the prefix anti to the general tonality of the text were confirmed. In others, the tonality of the text was different from the connotations of the word used in this text with the prefix anti. The obtained results allow to predict the expressive load, the emotional background of the whole text. The use of research results will also allow you to choose the most appropriate word for accurate transmission of information to achieve savings in language resources, and this can contribute to the maximum effectiveness of online publications and the achievement of communicative tasks. Thank you for your attention.